247 essentially represents that transformation you went through and the action you take, the reinvention and the habits that got you to the point where you had this moment of clarity. For anyone listening that's thinking, I'd love to be able to reinvent myself, I'd love to be able to overhaul my life and have that clarity, find that clarity, what would you recommend that they do? What were the processes that you went through? Who were the people that influenced you? What were the things that influenced you? What were the habits that you focused on to start that process of transformation?
All right. Well, there was a few different catalysts. One was Andy Fritzello, 75 Hard. I found out about this through a friend and it seemed like the right thing to do at the time for me. I was already running. I was already training. I was already in this like business mindset of just working on my goals. And that there, the little aspects that are inside of that, the training twice a day, the drinking X amount of water, the no alcohol, the sticking to a diet, these were like little disciplines that I could just add into my life that would then give me more time to do what I wanted to do and less time to think about them other things that then I've got to cut out. There was no alcohol, so that meant I'm not going out, right? There was sticking to a diet, so that meant I'm not going out for dinner either. Then there was like training twice a day, so I've got to wake up early. I've got to then train after I've finished my work as well. So all these little things I just put into my life that for me, the 75 hard thing wasn't difficult because I was already like 80% of the way there. It just made me realize that if I go 100% rather than 80%, I can do so much more with my day, with my life. I can become such a better person. And I did that a couple times. And through his podcast, I started listening to other people. Then there was a guy called Ed Milet that has such like a optimistic way of looking at life. So I thought, like, why am I always pessimistic about everything? Why do I never believe in anything that I do? Like, switch that. Let's change that. Let's wake up. Let's be happy. Let's be grateful. Let's think about the right things. Put that in there. Then books I would read. Like I was getting into that like disciplinary, like, I don't know how to say it, like self-discovery mindset. So like Atomic Habits was such an iconic book, and I think it has been for everyone that has that like discipline. That again just reassured me what I was doing with like 75 Hard and how I was looking at the outlook of life was the right thing. And then I found out about Ryan Holiday. I read all his books, and then it was like, okay, I'm reading like so many different books here that are all affirmations of the same thing. They all lead to the same result. And even though they're spoke by different people in different eras and different times that have gone through all these different businesses or lives, they all kind of say the same thing. So if I can implement that same thing into me and it proves successful, then can I give that energy off through my personal pages and change other people's lives?
What is that thing? Is it simply discipline?
I think it is. I think discipline is like the root of success. I really do think it is.
Do you think discipline in and of itself is the root, or do you think discipline within the framework of a direction? Because you had the business, you had the vision for who you wanted to be, you were pointed towards that, and discipline got you there. But if somebody's not pointed anywhere, would you give them different advice?
Yeah, I think I would. I think that if someone has zero plan, zero future planned out ahead of them, they don't need to just implement discipline into their life. They don't need to go out and run 10K a day for 70 days or train twice and drink this much water and do this. I think they need to take the first little step, whether that's trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. What are you actually good at? Everyone's good at something, right? If you can leverage that one thing and make it become your life, eventually it will lead to success. And I'm sure everyone can be successful in a field of what they do. I don't know what the timelines are on that. It could be 50 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 1 year. You see like singers blow up after 6 months of singing, but you'll see a business person like me blow up after 12 years, or you'll see a businessman that sells cars and it'll take him 35 years. There's no timeline for it. It's just about taking that first step, whether that first step is reading a book, mental health, going for a run, like whatever that thing is, just give it a go. Just try it, See if you can stack it up. And if you enjoy it, keep going at it.
Specific example on this we discussed earlier was Machine Gun Kelly, who you've done collab stuff with in the past, and you were there in 2019 when he essentially had one of his best albums that didn't go where he hoped it would before the rise that's followed. And that's a great example of somebody who's been chipping away and away and away and away and away. And if you picked him up now, or you saw him on TikTok for the first time recently, and you
wouldn't realize that,
wouldn't
right?
realize, would you?
He's had such like a long career. No one realized, like, he started rapping when I started my brand, and we kind of grew together at this same level for so long, and then both like exploded at the same time. But it's because he spent so long trying to figure out what his direction was and how he could do things and how he could target the masses, I guess. And like everyone is different, right? Everyone's going to take different routes and go down different paths and fail and try again and fail, and eventually it'll lead to success. And he is a good indicator of that. Like, if you even go down my Instagram, if you scroll down 3-4 years, it's not the same person. People will look at him and be like, whoa, what the fuck? That's not the same guy. Which is like, you can tell a story through images, right? Or video, YouTube, whatever it is. You can go back in time and see the actual come up of people, and it's completely different to what you see now.